famous thing. TKG, what is good with y'all, man? Listen, I see the title. Y'all know what we unfortunately are getting into today. Grandmaster Melle Mel of the Furious Five. And if you are saying who the hell is that, or who, you know what I'm saying? And before the who comments are the most annoying things I see on social media. Google. Y'all on your phones all day anyways. Just look them up. It's the dumbest thing ever. But Grandmaster Melle Mel of the Furious Five has made some disparaging comments about a few rappers. I'm going to talk about each and every single one of the things that he said. The specific clip that's making the most rounds on social media is his comments about Eminem. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Dude definitely comes off as one of them old heads, one of them type of old heads that don't have anything good to say about, you know what I'm saying, the newer generations and all that stuff. Even though he had some compliments, they just come off as, yeah, I mean, you doing something. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To butter you up, get you feeling good before they, you know, tear into you and stuff like that, which, I mean, I already know what it is, man. I really already know what it is. But beyond any case, man, we ain't gonna talk too much about it. Leave some comments in the comment section about how you feel about the older generations talking crazy about the new generations, because in my personal opinion, it's not needed. The older generation, you know what I'm saying, they crawled so the next generation can walk, so this current generation can run. And I believe that rap is the most popular genre of music on earth right now. And then you got pop, you know what I'm saying? I just believe rap is in a good place, and this is what these legends wanted. And for them to hate on, you know what I'm saying, certain rappers, it just, especially some of the rappers that contributed to the success being had today, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So beyond any case, man, we're going to get into the first clip.
But did he make the list?
Yeah, he was in the top 10.
Oh, let's say I don't know about that one either.
You don't think Drake a top 10 rapper of all time?
Not of all time, no. Like I said, I don't even have a 10, but he's not not of all time, no. That's what I'm saying. Them lists is so sideways. I'm going back to what I'm saying. Just put if you want to see the greatest of all time, because see they doing it. See, these are the two words that everybody got misconstrued. Greatest. So that's not going to be 50 guys. And then of all times, not just your time, of all time, who could have did it then compared to who could do it now. Some guys ain't here. Some guys, they might have fell off in their creativity or whatever it would take for them to be a capable rapper now. Some guys you just don't know because they're not giving a Big Daddy Kane the same opportunity as they would give a Lil Wayne. How would you know that how good Kane is right now? I mean, I don't think that they got the clout to do something like that. Because first of all, if you put the list together, like let's just say, if KRS put that list together, it would mean more than just some weirdo that worked for Billboard magazine that's putting this list together. If you had 3 or 4 of the top MCs, and if they did that list, it would be more credible. Who is this guy on Billboard to say who's the top 50 of anything? When he's not, this guy that wrote that list, he's not the top 50 on nothing. What do he know about being top 50 about anything? Now, when you talk about hip hop, my personal feelings is, and I always say this: if you think that there's 50 great rappers, then you're not one of them. And I always say it's not even 50 great men in history that you could just point out 50 people. But you're going to say it's 50 great MCs? Okay, yeah, it is 50 guys that, y'all did some songs. You know what I mean? 50 guys that could rhyme. Okay, y'all said some rhymes or y'all spit some bars.
First off, I want to talk about his comments regarding the Billboard author that made the list, he says that he has no real, like, it doesn't have credibility because the guy from Billboard made the list. Versus if KRS-One would have made the list, it would have had more credibility behind it. And although I do agree that KRS making a top 50 would have more credibility than somebody at Billboard making a list, the guy at Billboard making a list, it just really doesn't matter who he is or not. I can make a top 50 list, Melle Mel can see it and say, well, who are you? I'm a human being with an opinion. You know what those are, Melle Mel? You had a ton of them on that said interview. A bunch of opinions. But the problem is with people like Melle Mel, artists like Melle Mel, he treats his opinion as facts. He says those things as if, oh, well, they can't change. This is how it is because this is who I am. I guarantee you, Melle Mel would not have a problem with this list if he was higher than the people he was talking about. If he were higher than Drake, if he were higher than Eminem, you know what I'm saying? Nothing would be coming out his mouth if Melle Mel was number 1 or number 2 or number 3. But then he'd probably have something to say about whoever number 2 or number 1 was, which I believe was Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z. It just doesn't matter, really. It just does not matter at all. Like, we're people. We have stuff to say. The guy from Billboard, he has a platform. Billboard is one of the most highly regarded sources in music today. As a matter of fact, I believe it is probably the highest regarded source in music today. People don't really care about too much about what a lot of other people have to say when it comes to music. I mean, they do, but Billboard is higher than everything. They're in charge of who has what hits and all this other stuff. Some rappers don't really care about the hits, but most of the times, the rappers that don't care about hits never really had too many to begin with. You say stuff like, oh, Big Daddy Kane didn't have the opportunities that Lil Wayne had. If Big Daddy Kane was around right now, then who's to say he wouldn't be greater than Lil Wayne? There's a lot of 90s artists that still make music today that just don't pop. And most of their fans are still alive today. Melle Mel, you're 71. A lot of your fans are still alive today. And they can sit here and preach a big game, but just simply the fact of the matter is, shit, there's so many 90s, 80s, hell, even 70s albums that are on the Billboard 200. They're on the, you know what I'm saying? Old songs that still translate today, that still get listened to. It's only the fault of your fans why you aren't popping right now, and why these artists that you could bring up that could be better than Lil Wayne aren't popping right now. Your fans are listening to somebody else. They're listening to these newer guys. I'm around so many older people, and they're listening to guys like Drake, and they're listening to guys like Lil Wayne and DMX. And the reason for that is you can't just stay listening to one person the entire time. You have your favorites, but you can have new favorites. People that you regard higher than others. It's just the fact, it's just how that is. Lil Wayne, before Drake, had the most hits for any rapper, if I'm not mistaken. He was a hit machine. Comparing Big Daddy Kane to Lil Wayne is a setup on Big Daddy Kane. I once said, how would Tupac fare today if he were alive today? Because the landscape of rap changes. You have guys that stick to that 90s sound, but simply put, it doesn't work in the 2020s. You get so few for every KRS-One and R.A. the Rugged Man and all these other guys. You have a guy like Nas and Jay-Z who can still be on the upper echelon of rap only because they network with other younger rappers. It's how you survive. But Nas, make no mistake about it, can survive today on his own. He's proven he can. You cannot say, oh, let's bring up Big Daddy Kane and see, because Big Daddy Kane be doing the same thing, networking with younger rappers. It's how you survive. You don't just do it by yourself. That's not how that works. Big Daddy Kane would 9 times out of 10 be on trap beats and 808s and you know what I'm saying, and teaming up with guys like you know what I'm saying, with Metro or Pierre Bourne or something like that. It would happen. These younger guys, you know what I'm saying, they could team up with the older guys too. It works. Trust me, Melle Mel. It's just not a one-way street. You just don't have to do it by yourself like you had to do in the 80s and in the 90s. is different. And then he talks about how Drake shouldn't be top 10. We over here at All the Culture believe in statistics and skill and popularity. They all mesh together. Drake is the most popular rapper walking the planet Earth today. There's no question about it. You wanna say Bad Bunny is? Go ahead. I will allow it. But that Drake is still top 5. Drake can't piss outside without it being publicized everywhere. You want to talk about statistics? Drake has the most hits of any rapper today. He's one of the highest selling rappers of all time. He consistently is the most streamed rapper today. And I know streams are a little different to talk about today versus Melle Mel's time, but still. You can't sit here and act like these older people can't still be streamed. They have stuff on streaming, networks. They can still be streamed. Like that point I made before, your music didn't just disappear. You can still be listened to. Your fans just ain't gassing and stuff. We're gonna talk about skill. Drake is one of the best rappers today, bar none. Bars a few, but there's some people's pen game that you can say is better than Drake. The misconception of Drake isn't, Drake doesn't write his music, so he's not a great rapper is bullshit, because none of you really know if Drake really writes his music or not. You just heard somebody say, oh, he don't write, and y'all ran with it. Drake could be one of the greatest rappers in the game for all y'all know. You seriously don't know. You just running with what some people say. So you say Drake can be top 10, and then here's the part that I have the biggest problem with. You say there's greatest and then of all time. So there's more than 50 people. Obviously there's more than 50 great rappers. Greatest. That specific list was 50 men. Melle Mel, you made the damn top 50, so I don't even understand where all the smoke is coming from. If they made a top 100, you would be in that upper echelon of greats. You were put on the list because of your contributions to the rap game, because you were one of the first greats. I don't understand why there has to be this big resistance from you. You say greatest and then of all time. You're making this case like, oh, okay, so not just in your time, but of all time. There was rappers from the oldest ages of rap to the 80s, to the 90s, to the 2000s, to today. All types of rappers, so I don't understand what you're talking about. Of all time, greatest. Which one of those rappers on the top 50 wasn't great? Sure, there's some people that should be lower than others, but all those people should be on the list. Saying, oh, I don't agree with Nicki Minaj at 10, but she still should be in the top 50. Whether you think Nicki Minaj is trash as a rapper or not, her contribution to the rap game is absolutely irrefutable. Whether I can't stand the barbs or not. Does not matter. Irrelevant. Your opinion on a person is irrelevant when it comes to actual greatness. Nicki deserves to be on that list. Should she be top 10? Debatable. But she deserves to be top 50. And even if she's not top 50, she's still a great rapper. And this is the thing that he seems to not be able to grasp. This is not an official list. No one has an official list. There's no official list. There's no such thing as an official greatest list. It's not just etched in stone. It isn't. People go off a consensus about what the public says. So if everybody consensus believes that Eminem's top 50 or Drake is top 10, guess what? The consensus is he is a top 10 rapper. It is going to be a widespread truth to people. Is it a fact? You can't truly, you know what I'm saying? To me, it just comes off like Melle Mel was just disappointed in his spot on the list. Really. It really just comes off like that. I guarantee you if he was top 20, top 10, he would not have anything to say. He truly wouldn't. Drake, and if you want to ask my opinion on the whole Drake conversation, is he top 10? Drake is easily top 10, easily top 20 for sure. Drake has given so much to the damn game. Right now, since Drake has popped off in 2010, 2009, Drake has been the guy. You can argue if he's been one or two, but for a decade, since 2010 to now, and Drake has just been the top guy. Even when he's been out just taking breaks, Drake was still one of the most listened to artists, one of the most listened to rappers. Billboard called Drake the greatest rapper or the greatest artist of the 2010s. And yet, he's not number one on their Billboard, 50 list. So you can't sit here and say, oh, they're being biased, they just really love Drake. No, because if that were the case, he'd be better than all the other rappers on the list. So that throws out your of all time comment. Because why is Jay-Z number one then? Why is Kendrick higher? Because Kendrick was on that same list for the 2010s, and yet Kendrick is higher all time than Drake. Your argument makes zero sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Drake is a top 10 rapper, by the way. He is. And any argument I'm willing to listen to. I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong. I'm going to just sit here and say that you're ignorant. Because no opinion could be wrong. They could just be ignorant. You could say they're silly, but you can't say they're wrong. You can't say a fact is wrong. You could just say it sounds crazy. Simply put. But beyond any case, man, there was more madness that came out of his mouth. So let's get into the next clip.
He obviously made some good songs, but those songs don't translate into the street part of hip hop. That's like another level of hip hop. I don't know what records that he made like that. I might know one or two of them, but I don't think you hear Kendrick in the club like that. Now, it might be a record that his record that I don't know. I'm 90 years old, so, but it don't translate in. It don't translate into him being the number 2 rapper of all time. How does that happen? It shouldn't, because he's fairly a new rapper. We talking. And like I said, when we did the message, that was the beginning of conscious rap. People started talking more conscious. After Kendrick Lamar does these songs, nobody wants to rap like Kendrick Lamar. Nobody wants to rap like Eminem. A lot of people wanted to rap like Pac and Biggie. You see what I'm saying? That's my take on it. If you cool on your own, if nothing changed, if after Eminem make his song and he make his big splash into the game, if you don't have 1,000 white rappers, nothing changed. He's good. He's capable. He's good. But to say that he changed the game like how Pac changed the game is a big difference. But and everybody getting to their feelings about it, I don't give a fuck either way.
Melle Mel goes on to say, Kendrick's music is not played, it doesn't affect the streets, and then you also don't hear it in the clubs. Then how the hell is he so successful? How is Kendrick so successful, Melle Mel? How is Kendrick so successful? And then you go on to just display your ignorance. I really only heard like 2 songs. And then blames it on his age. Dude, you got so much to say about all these people, and then you don't really know what you're talking about. You don't really know. You've only really dissected and heard 2 songs, but then you say, oh, he's not affecting the streets. You're just going off a hearsay. What if I was to say, I'm just some regular guy, by the way, I'm just all the culture, 8.18 thousand fucking subscribers on YouTube, so my opinion shouldn't matter. I just don't have the same clout as Melle Mel. But me, what if me has heard people bumping Kendrick Lamar and you know what I'm saying? and really on Kendrick. What if I actually heard Kendrick in the clubs and I said, oh yeah, but no, I mean, I heard him. Then you're gonna say, nah, that don't matter, because I mean, who are you? But if you hear him, then it matters. People have different stories. And that's why I don't want anyone to sit here and hear what I'm saying and go, well, I mean, he's just talking, because I understand he is just talking. But a lot of what he's talking about just sounds ignorant. You're saying that Kendrick shouldn't be number 2 because he's a fairly new rapper. Well, let me tell you something, my basketball fans out there. How do we feel about Steph Curry? How do we feel about Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant drafted in 07 or 08. 07. 08? 07. Steph Curry drafted in 09. And they're both top 20 consensus players of all time. That's higher than a lot of players from the 60s, from the 50s, I guess, from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s, from the 2000s. Fairly new basketball players, but they affected the game. They changed how you view the game, especially Curry. You don't know who Curry is, but people know who. You haven't watched Curry play, but you know who Curry is. You haven't watched the game, but you know who Kevin Durant is. You ain't gotta watch the game, but you know who LeBron is. You haven't watched the game, but you know who Jordan is. See, I used 3 newer basketball players. I mean, you know what I'm saying? LeBron isn't new by no means, but newer than a guy like Jordan. And one old guy, Jordan. Jordan considered the greatest. No one's going to sit here and say, well, no one can pass Jordan because, I mean, they got to be older than Jordan. No one's going to say, you can't pass up Jay-Z, you got to be older than Jay-Z. Who's better than Jay-Z from the 80s? Seriously answer that question. I want someone to really go in that comment section and tell me who's affected the game a little more than Jay-Z has. Who's better than Jay-Z? No one from the 80s is better than Jay-Z. There's a handful of people that you could say is somewhat better than Jay-Z in the 90s. I don't got too many people better than Jay-Z in the 2000s, and I damn sure don't have no one better than Jay-Z in the 2010s or 20s. Most definitely not. A 0% 2020s. Not gonna lie to you, there's nobody right now from the newer generation that looks like they about to be great. It doesn't make sense though. Kendrick can change the game. I'm gonna say this every time we talk about Kendrick's greatness. How many of you rappers have a Pulitzer? How many of y'all have a Pulitzer? It takes a lot to be recognized outside of rap. Kobe Bryant retired basketball and won an Oscar for something that wasn't, you know what I'm saying, having to do with his on-court stuff. It was basketball related, but it didn't have nothing to do with his basketball play. People can be great and be new. It's about impact. It's about how good you are. It's about how you connect to this current generation and how well you do it. Melle Mel may be influential, but then somebody could say XXXTentacion is more influential than Melle Mel. And we could really sit there and research and debate it. And people will take offense to the fact that you actually have to sit there and debate that. Because they think, oh hell no, Melle Mel, he's from the 60s. So, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to what extent and to how hard. There could be a YouTuber that comes up and says one word, and that word is said globally. He is the most influential man on the planet for a second. And you will remember that man. You will remember that person, because it could be a woman. Sorry. It doesn't make any sense, bro. This new talk, it just you act like a new person can't climb the ranks really quick, or they shouldn't. I understand recency bias exists. I'm not trying to say, well, Kendrick Lamar came out in 2019 and he dropped 2 great albums, so he's already top 50. That doesn't, no. I get that. That shouldn't happen. I get that. That's like saying Kendrick just came out with you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, his new album is already a top 10 album of all time. It's got to stand the test of time. I understand that. You've got to wait. You've got to be patient with these things. They've got to stand the test of time. Kendrick has stood the test of time. The dude's been around for a decade plus. A little before that, rapping, but been blown up and mainstream since about 2010. We're not going to sit here and say that Kendrick Lamar didn't change the game and stand the test of time. No one wants to rap like Kendrick, so he doesn't matter. No one wants to rap like Eminem. First things first, let's throw this Eminem is not influential shit out the door right now, because he is. We're going to cut it out right now. There should be a bunch of white rappers out, Eminem, because of you. Even if there weren't no Eminem, there would still be a bunch of white rappers, Melle Mel. I hate to break it to you. I really hate to break it to you. Eminem just so happened to be the greatest of the white rappers. That's just how that is. You cannot sit here and make these ignorant claims and then sit here and say, and you know you're wrong when you sound crazy when you eventually say during your opinion, I don't give a fuck what nobody think. You already know you sound crazy. You already know you sound crazy. If you don't care, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, we already know you don't care. But to say it out loud just proves that you're a little, you know what I'm saying? You already know people are going to think that you're crazy for saying what you're saying. There's confidence and then there's delusion. And there's a lot of delusion in what you're talking about. A ton. A ton. A ton. Kendrick is most definitely top. Top two, that might be a little foolhardy. Nah. I am a Kendrick fan, and I probably wouldn't have him top two. Top 10 for sure. Top two, I don't know. His skill is crazy, but yeah, top two might be a little wild. But he deserves to be on that list, Melle Mel. Above you too. Eminem does as well. Eminem, in my personal opinion, is the greatest of all time, but I don't have a problem with him not being number one on other people's lists. That's completely okay, because guess what, Melle Mel? We all have opinions. We have opinions that we can state as regular people. That we don't have to have millions of money like you. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying, have clout like, be a rapper like you. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying, have... No, we don't have to be what you want. We don't have to. We do not. It's so funny. Oh, everybody wanted to rap like Tupac and Biggie. Once again, your references are always an older artist. This whole time you just come off like you want the older generation to be better than the new generation. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, you know what I'm saying? Pac, Biggie. These newer artists, these artists past 2000, they just trash, right? They just don't do nothing good, right? Oh, it's a nice track, but it's not better than, you know what I'm saying, what I heard from, and then insert 90s rapper, insert 80s rapper, insert rapper from your time. It's not fair. People want to rap like Tupac and Big. That's true. That's true. They have skill. Tupac and Big have skill. Great. They're legends. Great. Guess who else are legends? Kendrick Lamar and Eminem. It's a consensus opinion. It's a consensus opinion. Please. Y'all gotta chill, bruh. Y'all have to chill. There's some people that can't stand Eminem that can still tell you he's a legend. And I'm sure Melle Mel can even can say confidently that Eminem is a legend. But then he'll have a problem as to why he believes in that claim. He's a legend, but there's no buts, man. There's no but. Give the credit and just give the credit. Why does it gotta be this extra shit that comes with it? Yeah, I like this food, but fuck the rest of that. Yes, there are some places where you could take constructive criticism, but this doesn't sound like constructive criticism. This doesn't sound like it. It does not. Well, speaking of Eminem, I will roll this next clip, and I had a hard time sitting through it.
And everybody, if you're talking about rhyme style, okay, he got a rhyme style. But he's white. He's white. So now if Eminem was just another nigga like all the rest of us, would he be top 5 on that list when a nigga that can rhyme just as good as him is 35? That had records and all that. He's 35. He's white. And the point is this: if I was white, nigga, I'd be greater than Elvis. Niggas be like, Melle Mel is greater than Elvis. Melle Mel is the greatest white man that has ever lived. He came up with a culture. He's a part of a culture that changed the whole world. That is a great ass white man right there. But I'm not white. I'm one of the niggas. So, you know. So now you could be, anybody could be as mad as they could feel how they want to feel. If they don't think that race plays a part in the equation of how great he is. I heard one of the dudes that's down with him, Royce the 6'9", I heard he's just as good as Eminem. Why ain't he as big as Eminem? Because he black. Ain't none of that shit hard to figure out. Eminem gets a top spot because he's white. Like I said, if I was white, they'd be comparing me to Elvis. It'd be like, that nigga Melle Mel is pretty as Elvis. This motherfucker here. Look at it.
Royce the 6'9". And I truly believe this was troll at first. I really had to listen back to how he said it. It's not troll. You just don't know what you're talking about. You're just ignorant. Royce the 6'9". There's people saying that he better than Eminem, but I'm running out. I'm running out of energy. I'm running out. Eminem shouldn't be that high, but he only is that high because he's white. What? With that logic, every white rapper should be ahead of you, Melle Mel. Where are the other white rappers at? Where are they at? Where? You think of all the black rappers that have had #1 hits, that have had hits in rap, period, and then you think of all the white rappers that have had a bunch of hits. The white rappers that have had #1s. This list should be just full of white people, but it's not. Why is that? Why are we just nitpicking? Oh, is that Eminem here because he's white? No. Because why isn't he #1 then? Again, most records sold. You said it yourself. You even acknowledged it. That feat is insane. Eminem has multiple diamond records. Is highly regarded as the top spitter. Why isn't he #1 then? All these undeniable these things that you could see, that you could look up on the most simplistic site on the internet, that you could find out as to how dominant Eminem actually is. And yet, Jay-Z is #1. And why is Jay-Z #1? It's not because he's black. It's just because whoever it was that made this list simply thought, well, as great as Eminem is, Jay-Z is just that much a better rapper than he is. Kendrick is just that much a better rapper than Eminem. Who cares? Who really cares? This man created this big old tiff over his spot on the list, over the fact that there were some people higher than him. Your ignorance knows no end. Because then I seen a throwback of you on DJ Vlad, and again, the people that accept an invite from that clown, they have much to answer to. But you You go on to talk to DJ Vlad, and you say to us all, "Oh, I'm easily beating Eminem in a rap battle, easily." I just love psychology, and I'm so big into psychology, so I'm able to tell when people are lying or saying something stupid. You sit there talking, and like, listen, like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't say shit. You didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing. I'm not blaming it on your age. You just didn't know what to say because you're full of shit. Again, respect to everything you've done, Melle Mel, but you're full of shit. You are. You're full of shit. You're not easily beating Eminem. Are you kidding me? What? I'm at a loss for words. I'm not really at a loss for words like you just were for about all of 30 seconds trying to find out the good lie. But I'm at a loss for words, theatrically speaking. Eminem is not top 10 because he's white. Eminem is top 10 because he's a damn good rapper. He's one of the greatest rappers of all time. He has been that way since the 90s. Since it took him a while to get to the spot he was in 2000. After the 2000s, Eminem took off. Okay, it's 2023. This is a near 3-decade dominance. When Eminem returns, the people want to hear what he has to say. Yes, he has a big fan base. You get fan bases by being who you are. No one looks at Megan Thee Stallion's fan base and thinks to themselves, "Oh well, that was just a few people." It's her fan base. Her fan base are going to get her to where she has to be, and it grows. Megan can have a whole bunch of number ones. It's a testament to how big her fan base is. I could talk crazy about Nicki's fan base all I want. They got her to where she is right now. You don't get to where you are unless people listen to you, unless people buy into what you're talking about. And guess what? Billions of people have bought into what Eminem has been talking about. Just like at your time, Melle Mel, you had to change the game to where people had to hear what you were talking about. Where somebody in your group created the term hip-hop. And y'all created this thing that we love today. We call it hip-hop, and it's all thanks to somebody from your group. It's all thanks to your group. Melle Mel, we thank you for that. You gave this to us, and you're discrediting the people that made it even greater. Eminem made rap even greater. I don't care about the, "Oh, no one wanted to rap like him" rhetoric. I don't care about that. He made it greater. He did. To say Eminem has no impact is asinine. To say Kendrick has no impact is asinine. To say Drake is not top 10 is asinine. I mean, it's debatable. But to say that Drake isn't great at all is asinine. And then he says something along the lines of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne isn't a top spitter. You know what I'm saying? He ain't all that as a rapper. Again, this is Lil Wayne we talking about. Lil Wayne, for every one trash bar he has about 100 great ones in a row. Can we please cut out the talk? Can we please just you have people interviewing you, and of course you have the need to say things that you wouldn't say as if you were alone or if you were in front of, you know what I'm saying, somebody that will judge you right afterwards. I understand that you know what I'm saying, you don't really know these people that are interviewing you, and you could just say these things and they're not going to check you because you're Melle Mel. You even go on to say that you're the greatest rapper of all time, Melle Mel. You're the greatest hip-hop artist of all time. You said that. You're not. You're not close to it either. You're not. You're an influential one, and you changed the game. You changed the game of music. And for that, we give you respect, and you will forever be regarded as one of the most influential, one of the most impacted artists ever in music. That's great. Are you the greatest of the genre that you started? Not started, but helped coin. You're not. And it's okay that you're not. It's really okay. The first person to ever dribble a basketball is not the greatest basketball player of all time. The first person to hit a basketball shot is not the best basketball player of all time. Iconic, but not the greatest. The first hockey player to ever knock a puck into the goal is not the greatest hockey player of all time. Iconic, but not the greatest. The first football player to ever punt a ball, catch a ball, or even get a touchdown, they're not the greatest, but they're iconic. The first YouTube video is not the greatest YouTube video ever. It's iconic, but it's not the greatest YouTube video ever. It's iconic. Melle Mel, you are iconic, but you are not the greatest. You are a legend, but you are not the greatest. In your own words, there is no greatest. There is no list. I don't even have a top 10, but you admit that there are great rappers. You do admit that there are, I can't even get 50 great men. I can't think of 50 great men. I can think of fucking 10 in my damn city. To say that you just can't conjure a list is just asinine. And it's your opinion, and I understand that. And thank you for sharing it. But I think a lot of us would rather you have kept it to yourself. It's absolutely sad when these older people come into the rap game and I'm not coming to the rap game, but go on the airwaves and just say the craziest thing about the newer generation, because it's not needed. It's not necessary. Some of these guys look up to you, and some of these guys, they look at what you've done and studied the game and seen what you've done, and they're appreciative of what you did, and yet you can't appreciate what they're doing because they're just not guys from your generation. It's not fair. It's really not fair. It's not. It's like when a sports team, they get a rookie and they treat him like trash because what? You know what I'm saying? They're just not used to that guy. They're not who they're used to. They don't really know who he is. But I don't know. It sounds like he says, I don't really listen to stuff unless it's in the club or, or on the radio. So you're a casual. Basically, you're a casual. I can't hate on people that I've never heard before. I can't hate on people that I haven't truly given a chance to, that I haven't really dissected. And I've done that before, and I apologize to said artist. You know what I'm saying? But you've got to give these people a chance. You don't even know who Royce the 5'9" truly is. But you're just saying, oh, I heard he's not even better than this guy, so how is Eminem better? You heard, but you don't know. You're just going off of what you heard. This he say, she say, 71 years old and going off of he say, she say. It's absolutely insane. It is. Eminem is great. Kendrick is great. Drake is great, whether you think so or not. Lil Wayne is great. They're all great. That top 50 list does not, if it doesn't matter to you, it just doesn't matter to you. You put too much stock into that list. Yeah, let's wait for K. As a matter of fact, you say, oh, KRS won. What if KRS One agrees with the list? Then what? Oh, I ain't really like that nigga no way. There's a reason why he wasn't as big as us. Group together the people that are going to agree with you and listen, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being unbiased and just asking the world what they think about stuff. People don't, you know what I'm saying, like what I do. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, whatever. Go watch Intensify or Amir. I'm not going to say that. I'm say, all right, then you don't like my stuff. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I take, you know what I'm saying? Take the criticism for what it is. Take it for what it is, man. I don't know what else to say at this point. This shit blows my mind, man. I don't know. Personally, if it were me and I was in that room with him, I'd listen. I just ask the questions. I listen. I won't even ask for follow-up. I just listen and just leave it, and that would be it. It's a shame, too. It really is. But beyond any case, man, y'all tell me how y'all feel about this situation. Y'all telling me if you agree that Kendrick should be number 2, if Drake is a top 10 rapper, if Eminem should be on there, or you know what I'm saying, you agree with Melle Mel, you think he shouldn't be on there because he's white, whatever he's saying, you know what I'm saying. Tell me how y'all feel about all this stuff in the comment section below, man. You know what I'm saying, and beyond any case, man, if you're new, you know what I'm saying, I'm not that type of YouTuber, but you already know what it is, man. Vibe, have a good time, be peace, love peace, and at the end of the day, we're all human. See y'all later, man.
Get back shit, dirty old twat. 69 assholes tied in a knot. Hooray!